thought we'd take a look at Sandfire Resources because I think Mathan's a bit of a gold bug at the moment. So we'll see what he thinks of the Sandfire result. Slashing its dividend despite a 24% rise in half-year net profit, reaffirming group guidance for both copper and gold in fiscal 2022. Commenting on its future operations, company says it will be phasing out the DeGrussa production in WA after Q1 2023, but will be scaling up copper production from its Botswana mine. Shares dipping into the red this morning, down 2.5%. Mathan, Sandfire Resources, I think last week you were saying that you quite like Sandfire Resources. It was on your list.
Yeah, look, it's done well. On the momentum, it's doing well. It's probably not your best copper play. I mean, It seems like, when we talk about copper, it's just Osmin and then the rest.
Right, so this is more a copper play than a gold play.
It is. Yep. And to put it in context, I was actually doing this on the weekend. Exciting lifestyle. Copper, on a 12-month performance, copper is actually underperforming gold.
Really?
Ah. Yeah, you wouldn't have thought that.
I would have thought that. Yeah, that's right.
And the other one that'll shock you is actually even oil is the outperformance of oil over over gold has been shrinking. So we look at it in the context of growth commodities versus safety commodities. So gold against oil and copper tells you what's happening on the growth sentiment. Right. And that's been coming off. And copper actually tipped into February slightly below. And I assume after today, February data will be a negative one. Yep. And that's the first one for a number of months. So that kind of tells you where the cycle is. So copper is doing well. And I think longer term picture for copper is great.
Right.
And we don't have a lot of high quality copper players. We get it through the big boys. Outside that, Osmin by default. I think Sandfire, look, it's patchy. And it's one where you go, it kind of reminds me a bit like Newcrest. You just know every so often they're going to have something wrong. But look, I think it's okay. I think we are in a commodity cycle, inflation cycle. I think in the shorter term, you're going to see growth downgrades coming through, and that'll weigh on commodities, and it'll probably come off a bit. But then it'll recover because I think inflation is going to be elevated for longer than what people think, and copper is going to play into the cyclical play as well as the thematic play of what was happening with EV and so forth. So in that context, I am pretty positive on copper longer term. And also the other thing, and I can ramble on, but the mining services...
Oh, we know that.
We do.
Yeah, boy, do we know that.
The CapEx data with the big miners actually have been negative growth.
That's right.
Yes.
So there's no one really doing a lot of work. So the context of lack of supply is going to be an issue. So longer term,
so you like copper? Do you like Sandfire?
Not at the moment. I would say if right now it's a tough part of the cycle, I go to the best guy, which is Osmin.
Right.
But I think this is one where, I'm accumulating a few copper plays for this when the cycle is right to go back into them. And I think Sandfire, look, they're in the right place. No matter how patchy the record is, when commodity is doing really well, you're going to be there. So it's one on my shopping list, but not right now.
Okay. If you're in it, you'd hold it?
Yeah, I think you're okay. Just expect there's going to be weakness. I suspect in the short term you'll get some weakness.
Great.
Yeah, tricky one. I remember when the DeGrussa mine was first discovered. I've been doing this for a long time. Yeah, that was a magnificent discovery. Yeah. This company has done a splendid job. They were a tiny explorer when DeGrussa was discovered, and full credit to them. They developed and mined and maintained a pretty large and complex ore body for more than 10 years, and they did a great job with it. I think that's absolute kudos to management, and they probably deserve the benefit of the doubt going into Botswana, which I'm not entirely convinced upon, but they probably have to do something, and copper is very difficult to find. Everyone is looking for copper deposits. Grades internationally have been declining for about 15 years or so. Even Escondida, which is the world's biggest copper mine, their grades have been flattening out. I think they're now less than 1%. It's a big problem around the world, but copper is recyclable and there are substitutes for it. So look, I'm a bit cautious on copper. The prices are high, enthusiasm is high. Mathan's correct when he says CapEx spend across mining is low, but everyone's looking for copper. Copper is probably one of the things that is really popular at the moment. And in my experience, look, we have a wonderful track record in mining at Intelligent Investor. Anyone can go have a look at it. It is magnificent, something we're really proud of, because value investors typically don't go there. The reason it's so good is because, here's the secret actually, David. The secret is that investors, we take advantage of investor irrationality.
Right.
And it's not that investors are irrational, that's the opportunity, it's that they get irrational at the same time.
Right.
So you really want to be in mining when, at the extremes. You want to be out at the peaks, and you really want to be in there when there's a lot of pessimism and there's a lot of irrationality. This is not that moment.
Right.
I don't think there is a great moment for copper right now. I don't hold any copper plays. If you don't own coal in your portfolio and you're a non-ethical investor, if you're a nasty sin stock buyer, I don't know what you're doing. That is what you need to be owning at the moment. I still think energy...
Even at these levels?
David, Whitehaven is $3. If this was any normal sort of market, it would be $9, $10, maybe $12. These are stupid prices
And
for
not
coal.
admitting anything, but taking a close interest in coal. They paid off half their debt
Yes.
in
Yeah.
the last half year.
It's a
They cut debt in half,
50% free cash flow
and
yield.
massive cash flow.
And the next half is going to be even better. Anyway, this is not about
Anyhow,
gold. I'm just
no.
saying that there's a time for every commodity,
I think you
and
wanna-
it's in the trough. Yeah.
He's right. It's like agri stocks. It's like any mining
Yeah.
cyclical stock. You buy it when nobody wants to touch it.
Yeah.
Copper, just Google it. Everyone likes
You know,
it. That's
okay.
the problem.
All right.